If you could take my pulse right now, it would feel just like a sledgehammer. You think I'm pretty without any makeup on. Cause I'm gonna mess your life up. Gonna wanna take my mouth shut. Invisible string tying you to me.
Take one.
Dream like goals like property, collect them like Monopoly.
You might want to preserve this recording for prosperity.
Hi, it's California calling. Okay, so I'm trying a new height in the ring light. So do I look like a little small tiny ant? Okay, so there's our intro for today's movie, and we've only done 2 takes because we're into the idea and always been into the idea of spontaneity, so we're taking that for what it is.
I wear my heart up on my sleeve like a big deal.
It's okay not to feel okay.
As of now, this video is called September 12th, 14th, 2020, 12 p.m. Okay, it looks like I'm on space or something, so let me lower you a little bit. Oh. Okay. So I had an idea to film a California inspired video a couple weeks ago, but then I decided to be myself and wait it out and be here today. I didn't always be here today right now, but I decided to use the medium of YouTube, I guess, again as a form as reinvention and redoing and retrying anything and everything that comes to mind. And while I was taking a bath today, and the first time in like a week, don't ask any questions. I'm not gonna talk about why I wasn't here in this position right now to be doing this right now. I'm going to speak on what cool ideas I was in a vibration to receive, and it was to share art and reintroduce myself into the world. Okay, so I'm gonna use that as a take 1, and this is my take 2. So what I was trying to wrap up was I like using the medium of YouTube and movies, but I also like to, I had an idea slip in my mind while I was taking a bath like 20 minutes ago. An idea was, the memory was of when my therapist I don't know, I was probably just talking, like spewing a whole bunch of bullshit, probably just like as I do on YouTube. It was probably just a YouTube video in person. If you're talking to me in person, it's just a YouTube video in person. But she said the idea of, she told me the idea of, she presented the idea that she accumulated to herself, and it was the idea as you are, if you see yourself as a crystal, because a crystal has very angular sides and it has infinite sides. Or was it a snowflake? I think I took it as snowflake, like one in whatever, like 1 in a million. But she said crystal. So then I started thinking about a crystal and its many multifaceted sides. And if you were to crack it, you would see more than what was just on the surface. And it connected to another thought that came through, and it was that if you see yourself as a crystal, sometimes you can just turn it around and see the bottom side of the crystal, which is yourself. So taking a few weeks off and not doing anything and just discovering what you like, or discovering more of your point of view and not just the whole entire present moment 24/7, because that gets kind of boring, I've noticed. Like, but I'm excited to be here right now dressed in a Californian outfit that I didn't plan beforehand. So I like the idea of spontaneity and makeup. And while we're talking about makeup, I see primer. So this is the first time in forever that I'm going to be priming a primer onto my face. Oh. So now that I just threw like a whole bunch of 20 concepts and ideas at you, I'm going to pretend that I didn't and break them down so I could understand them too. I like using YouTube mainly as a form of education, because pop culture freak.
No one knows where my mind goes.
To accumulate my ideas and philosophies and teachings and anything. Because what is it, like 32 hours of YouTube videos are posted like every single second. So this is going to be one of the 32 hours being posted, who knows when. So that's pretty interesting and pretty cool. But if I were to talk about myself a little bit, you know what, I need a prop so I could talk about myself. Okay, so now that I have a Roger Awkward prop, I could talk about myself. If I were to look at myself from the mirror right now through the camera lens, I like using this snapshot if we're talking about a person and not just a movie or an actor or anything, because this thought came into, which is a pretty cool thought, and I kind of let myself ruminate on the thought before I got to explore it more. Like right now, what I'm doing on YouTube, camera, iPhone. And it was that at every single moment or every single YouTube video, I'm using that as the medium. You can plug in song, album, movie, anything. If I use that as a medium, it's always you're always at a pre and post of yourself at any single given moment or time. So this is the pre-me before I do something in a week, and there's also the post-me that was me this last week or since the last video. Like if I were making songs, it would be, this is the song that I put out now that was after this moment, and this is before I do who knows what, you know? And I think that's so cool. If you were to look at someone's discography or someone's timeline, I was looking at Ariana's because I've been listening to Ariana, One Direction, Taylor Swift. That's right here on top of my head at the second right now. So expect only Ariana, One Direction, and Taylor Swift songs to make this 2020 snapshot. But I've been paying attention to her because I really like her. And to say that she's an inspiration is like really cool, because if you were to ask an artist in the 1980s what their inspiration would, they would say, they would answer what was in the 1980s and people that came before them. But now, since I'm a kid that grew up in the 2000s to 2020, my inspirations are going to be different. Maybe still similar if I want to touch back on those artists too that paved the way. It's cool to have Ariana as one of my picks because it makes a new artist, a new kid. So there's always going to be new artists and new kids because there's always going to be a new world and new people and new artists in the world. And I just clicked in my head right now the comment that Lady Gaga made when she accepted a VMA. And it just excited me. So if something excites you, then run with it. But she said that because of this time that we're in, there's going to be a renaissance of artists and a renaissance of pop culture. And it always is kind of a renaissance of pop culture if you look at the world through a global point of view. If every thought you have or conversation before you answer, you view it, the world in your hands as a global point of view, you answer it differently. And that's where I like to stay or like to vibrate on, because it's way more fun. But when she said that, it excited me because she was right, because this moment has happened before and it happened again, and it's gonna get pretty exciting, and it already is getting pretty exciting.
Isn't it just so pretty to think?
I guess you just gotta see when you're ready to do it, but I don't know if that's up for you to choose. I mean, I guess it kind of is. But if you're like me and like Ariana, if you're a Cancer, I'm Cancer rising, she's Cancer, you're just gonna vibrate off fear for a little bit and probably not gonna talk for a few weeks. You're better off not talking, I find, because I don't even know if I want to go there because it's not even that interesting in my head. I'm just not that much of a talker unless I'm vibrationally ready for it and ready to hear and express new ideas. So I'm using this to do that, which is cool. But I like the idea that every single moment or every single moment in time, you're always at a pre and post you. So you're always growing or always changing and allowing yourself to do that. And if you're using art as a medium to do that, then that's an artist thing to do. And I love that. And if I were to reintroduce myself, I would say, hi, my name is Roger. I'm still in Modesto, California at 20 years old. And the things that I love as of today are Pokemon, Steven Universe, bagels, and bats. That would be me introducing myself to you in this new YouTube video, this snapshot mask in a YouTube video, which is a cool usage of the YouTube video, but you're not gonna understand it or see its impact or see its excitement until 20 years from now or 40 years from now. Because while I was listening to music, while I was blow drying my hair, I was thinking of Taylor Swift because, oh my god, All Too Well came on out of just nowhere, and I know she loves that song, and I love that song too. Plug in All Too Well right here, right now. But I had the idea pop up of Taylor Swift since I was listening to her and thinking about her, that she's gonna be such a cool mom, or it's gonna be really cool for her kids to look at her and see that she was doing that and playing that and using her emotions and her feelings for some things instead of just feeling them. But it's okay to take that time and just feel them, because that's what you came here for. But I just think she's gonna be such a cool mom. So is Ariana.
I can see is lost in the
And you know
memory.
what? Fuck it. I might be too. I'm pregnant. This is my pregnant coming out video. Okay, so we got our foundation on, and I don't have a makeup wipe, so I'm just gonna use this bagel. Okay. So now I need some lines on my face. And I love that I'm not hurried because it was just perfect timing. This inspiration hit because I have an orthodontist appointment later, so that's also a snapshot of how my teeth are gonna change over and over and over and as they've been. So that it's just like a little subconscious hint that I have in my head and now that you have. But you can, if you start making a video a year from a year ago and a year from now, and of course you were doing things blah 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 here and here and here, and let's just talk about teeth right now. So let's zone it in and talk about one thing instead of just letting you talk about the world. If say during that you having orthodontist visits, so if you were to look at someone's teeth, you can see that they changed over time, or someone's skin texture, or from the shaved face to hair on the face to on and off, hair change, style change, voice change, posture change. It's all really exciting, and it's all masked in the formula or the concept of a beauty video for YouTube. And that's what is kind of exciting because there's nothing off limits. I think that's cool. I feel like every single video I'm telling you how cool I think it is to be doing this, because it's basically myself talking myself into it and then getting more ideas while I'm doing it. But it's also pressing that red camera button on my touchable glass is giving me the leeway to open your throat chakra and just capture the fucking moment of yourself in time. Because it's cool and it's fun, and if that's how my brain works, then this is cool to share. And as of the moment, I would like to share my baby's name. Let me see. I always, like, you know, you're always that type of person to have, like, it's such like a high schoolers sitting down in class talking about things, and they talk about the names they want to name their kids. So mine, the first name that popped into head was Liam. I thought that name was just a good name, so I'm having baby Liam here. And if she would like to pick a name. Oh my god, let's talk about Katy Perry. So I'm glad I started that thought so I could end up at Katy Perry, because every single thought ends up at Katy Perry with me, because I love Smile and I love Folklore and I love Thank You Next and I love Sweetner. I love Sweetner because if you're talking about snapshots of time, Sweetner was a snapshot of time of where she was in love, Ariana was in love, and she expressed the love fully. And then to even 3 months later with the new album, it was a different feeling, a different emotion. It was like post-love. So, and she didn't know she was doing that. She was just making art, feeling it, feeling the water feelings and creativity. But now it's 2018, 2019. So imagine being her in 2020 and looking back and seeing that was a snapshot of her life with Sweetener and a snapshot of her life with Thank You Next. That's so freaking cool to see. So I want to be a part of that too. So this is the ideas that I'm at the moment. And I was looking at Taylor Swift's discography too, and it's really cool to see her evolution from songwriter to songwriter, making her step on world, to what she just done with Folklore, which is so brilliant and so smart and so songwritery and so artisty. It's a cool art world to be living in at the moment because of how accessible it is for you to make music from your phone or make movies from your phone. But if I were to let you into how my whatever, I would say brain and heart, but then I get to thinking of the thought that you are just the person. Like if I were to shut up for a second and receive the idea that I'm breathing and that I'm the thing, let's say person, I'm the person that's receiving the breaths coming in and out, or what's simpler would be heartbeat. If we were to feel your heartbeat right now, you're the thing inside receiving the heartbeat, because you're not actually your body. Your body is like your tool, like your brain is your tool, like your brain is an organ, as is your liver. It has a job, but you're the one that has the liver, you're the one that has the brain. I don't know what was happening, but it calmed me down, so thumbs up to that. And if you're gonna calm you down too, then that's always... I saw this while I was listening to Katy Perry, and it was the idea that invoke a feeling, invoke a healing. And that really is the mantra that works for me, that I get from artist perspective, from human perspective, from soul perspective, from vibrational being perspective. And from being a Cancer perspective, it's all about the feeling. But if you can invoke a feeling into someone and capture a feeling, then that's already a healing, because it'll take you out of that mindset that you talked yourself into or fell into by accident or were slammed upon with from something. And what a like beautiful job to have that, to be doing that or could be doing that. That's my approach on artists and music and movies. Because if not, I would just be all self-indulgent, and that's cool and all, but if you see it on a global point of view, it's much more funner and interesting, and you can see other people that are doing it too. But I like the idea of you're the thing, or you're the vibrational being that's receiving the bodily functions of heart beating or breathing. It reminds you that you're not the time that it says, you're not the name that it says on your ID. You have one job, and it's to feel good, because I've learned through teachings that the reason why depression or anxiety feels so bad is because it's not natural to you and it's not normal to you. Because if you are, let's say the word soul, because the word soul is more easily to understand, that's not feeling anything but pure positive energy or excitement with thought, and being able to focus your thoughts to make something is what you came here to do. This is all reminding myself to think about and to do and to live by. So, but that's why depression and anxiety feels so bad, because it's not natural for you. You came in knowing other things before you got here. And if I can share that with the feeling to you or to anyone who's watching this, myself editing it,
I can feel your energy around.
then that'll give me a reason to keep wanting to fag out and perform my thoughts for the world.
Cause I am resilient.
Okay, I would be putting lipstick on because I always love a red like lip thingy on my lips, but last time I went to the orthodontist with some lipstick on, they done that 3D machine for my teeth, and I kind of got nothing but lipstick all over smeared, so I'm kind of don't want to do that. I'm okay with brown liner being smudged on, but the red lipstick all over the machine was not that cute. Insert clip here from a movie that I didn't post because I was taking a break. Oh, if I were to go on to the topic of wanting to get to know how I work, or me getting to get to know how I work, I like to see all my tools and all the resources I have, play with them, using them, be inspired by them, and get my brain working on them. And then I like to like just drop everything off the side of the bed and focus on like 3 things: exercise, eating what I want to, because I love being a Taurus and I love earth beauty, earth foods, the concepts that earth has to provide, where you can fill in time and feelings with like baths, sleeping, not taking showers, cleaning clothes. Like, I like to be in a area to accept those because I like that I really like those part of being here on Earth. But what was I gonna say? I keep forgetting it, so that's like interesting because I mean it's not like helpful thought. But I like to throw everything away at the Bayside, like all projects that I had in mind or all ideas, and just start to go back. I like to see the crystal of what I'm doing and then turn it around and see the subconscious strands I still have playing along that make me feel good or make me not feel good, and explore that. And then I get to find out, I get to finish a Pokemon game that I haven't started. I mean, that I didn't finish, and it was like the best storyline ever. It was like so awesome. It's Pokemon Mystery Dungeons Gates to Infinity. It has like a slow burn. It's a slow burn. Insert slow burn right here, right now. Casey Musgraves. But I feel like every mystery dungeon game you have to get to like level 20 on your like your starter Pokemons. And then it starts getting interesting. But that storyline was so cool. It was like talking about Pokemons through the soul perspective. And then it like made a trick on you because you're playing, you pick like your avatar and then you pick your buddy. So I picked Pikachu. So let's say I'm Pikachu and my avatar was Axew. So this is you and you, but the thing is Pikachu always gets dreams that he's being told that he's a human in the Pokemon world. And then the storyline, and Axew is like a Pokemon living in the Pokemon world. So throughout the storyline, spoiler alert, you live through Pikachu's point of view of being a human in a Pokemon body, and he's getting dreams, and in one dream he's like the voice of nature or voice of life is guiding him and telling him that there is a point for him to be here and that he was called here to save the Pokemon world. So he always had that in the back of his head, which is like so correlating to like the human perspective of life. Because I've also like been watching Steven Universe like crazy, but I've been watching it on YouTube in clips. So I never get to watch a full episode. I always get to watch the clips of episodes, but it's so cool to watch it because I watched it before in clips and I was just like amazed by the creativity, but now I get to watch it again from a different perspective, flip the crystal over and view it from another perspective, now knowing more about crystals and about artists and about imagery and about cameras and about animation. It's just so much more interesting to watch it, because if I were to watched it 2 years ago, I would have just been sitting there laughing thinking it's cool. But now I get to see that it's like a creative outlet and a creative vision, and it's not just about the voice actors and the emotions that they put behind it. It's about like the whole entire thing and all the people that were drawn together to make that vehicle turn on and go. And I love it. And I love how the Rose Quartz character, the mother character of the Earth plane, she says to a human, no, she says to Garnet, because she's like a fusion, blah 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 blah. If you get this, you get this. If you don't get this, you don't get this. I'm not here to spoil everything. I just spoiled the Pokemon game. I don't want to spoil another show for you. But Garnet was asking, as Pikachu was asking to the voice of life in his head, but this was like a physical representation of it, like asking a bunch of questions like, why am I here, or why does she feel this, or why do I feel this, why couldn't I see that happening? So if Pikachu could be asking that to the voice of life as well, and the voice of life or rose quartz in the situation answered back, I'll probably insert the clip here, that you being the answer is the answer, and that's it, like, period. That's like the most profound thing I can feel, and I felt it and I understood it instead of just thinking it was funny or thinking it was cool.
Ruby able to alter fate? Why was Sapphire willing to give up everything? What am I?
No more questions. Don't ever question this. You already are the answer.
And I love that. And I also got to discover Roblox again, and that I still love obbies, and I still love natural disaster, having my arms blown off. But in my head, you wake up every single day reborn, because it feels really good to live in that mind space. But then I get lost in it, and then I get to try new old things, old new things. And I got to try social media out through a game, and it was actually really cool to see how social networking or social interactions through the internet is an actual real thing, and it actually brings up real feelings of connection, which is so gratifying, or so, I don't know what the word is, but it's interesting to see how you can talk to people on the internet through texts or through Roblox characters and actually feel the human connection that you are getting or aren't receiving in a physical front to front, but through camera to camera, through internet. Perception. I don't even know where that word came from, it just popped out, so I'm gonna take it. But it was interesting to see the feeling that I got before going into the Roblox and after leaving the Roblox experience. And it's cool to see the Roblox world. If you were to see the Roblox world, it's probably a square, or probably a square, not a globe like us. But you see their little characters walking on there, and each of them is a real person on an iPhone or on a laptop. I play it on the laptop. It's so much easier to get through all these on the laptop. But what was I saying? It's cool to see people walking around with their little user tag in their head, knowing they're real people. Because you that's how I see human life. I see human life as Roblox characters playing a Roblox game. And it's funny how they show the way of dying as you just exploding and all your body parts flying off. Because if that actually happened in real life, we wouldn't be taking death so seriously, because we like forget the point that we came here knowing that we're gonna die, and knowing that if you were to look in your perspective as a global scale, one death that's happening in your city is globally nothing compared to what's happening globally. There's like 1 million dying on each second, or each, okay, maybe not second, fuck. Each minute of the day. So it's not that shocking that you're dying or that someone dies. So as I was like, what if people actually died like they did in Roblox, just their arms pop off everywhere? We wouldn't be taking this so seriously.
'Cause inside, we are really made the same.
That's the perspective from a 20-year-old with the eyeshadow palette in one hand, a curler in one hand, recording from the iPhone 20. Do you like my new decor since we're in Halloween right now? Do you like my new wall? And no perspective can be wrong because there's new kids floating in and floating out every single generation, every single era.
Wanna hear what lives in my brain, in my heart.
I'm just one that happened to come in at the year 2000. And this is pre and post me. And this is pre and post you. And you can't mess up. You can't fail. You can't be perfect. And I didn't know I was gonna fucking say all this today. But it just shows to me and could be showing to you that if you do the things to, I don't know what this would say to you or to me. To me, it would say that if you follow your feelings, follow your thoughts, follow your spontaneity, follow the routines that you build up for yourself, you get to be yourself. And by being yourself, it's the only other way to heal people. Because I feel like sometimes we take being here for granted or having a voice for granted. Because if you compare yourself to a dog or to an animal and you realize that the only things that humans have is differently, is that we have an open throat chakra where the sound comes out of, or comes out of your stomach. And if you realize, and if you know, or I was never told, I had to find out through learnings that your voice comes from like the bottom of your belly. It doesn't come out through here or through your head. It comes out through the bottom of your belly, so you don't take voice or sound so seriously or too seriously. And it also makes you take, and it helps you dictate what people are feeling or saying at the moment, because it isn't coming out of right here, it's coming out of right here. So whatever someone says, it's what they're feeling literally inside, literally in their stomach. So knowing that, you see people's words differently. And you might not use yours that much. I don't really use mine that much. Unless I have the camera on. Because I don't want to explain myself on that one. I feel like I have. But this is just where my mind is at. And since we're talking about movies right now, or snapshots, the video that was posted from August 17th was a snapshot of feelings of the perspective and contrast from that moment. And now this is September 14th, 2020. So it's a snapshot of that. And that's exciting and cool.
Your stare was holding, ripped jeans, skin was showing, hot night, wind was blowing. When you think you
Okay, I think I'm done because now I feel like it's time for me to put on some shoes, probably change my outfit into our artist outfit that we love being in. It's just me talking to myself about myself, so major eye roll. I'd rather talk about myself walking on the globe in 2020 than me talking about the day that I'm at in 2020. But this is me before pre-orthodontist appointment. And oh, the thought where I was going with that, I was like, now I'm gonna pack up myself and catch the bus stop to get this retainer. Catch the bus, not catch the bus stop, but this wouldn't be a video from America in 2020 if I didn't have a face mask.
Like, oh my God, the time I've wasted, lost in my head.
Okay, this one's a little big.
Cause there's a time, there's a place, and I'm always gonna hear your name.
Okay, I'm like not wearing this one out. I look like a bird. This is gonna be for performing purposes only. But since we didn't have a kit, I have to do this.
Oh, I just wanna take you.
Here's a snapshot of today's physical representation of this video format on here. And I could take this idea and apply it to a song or a movie, a drawing, or a painting. I was like, is somebody in a fucking tree outside? But I think it just has fruits. Let me show you. Let me open it. Oh, that's a cool shot. Okay, so those were today's messages. It's also a physical snapshot of this physical form that I'm in, style-wise, makeup-wise, hair-wise, mind-wise, friend-wise, and background-wise, which I love. I love getting the background ready and not knowing when I'm gonna share that background today. As if I were to look back, this is me letting you into my head. Because this is I feel like this is what it is. I'm letting you into my head or into my heart. Every single backstage of videos that I've posted, something changed, and it's cool to see that evolution of this, evolution of that, evolution of her. Everything you do, anything you film, anything you sing is a snapshot of that. And I love thinking and feeling things like that. But I also love putting myself to sleep and just living in the dreams. Okay, I'm gonna get to editing because I feel like this is gonna be another 40-minute video. I love bagels.
Wow, firefly.
Who's that stranger in my bed? What's the next lyric? Passed out strangers in my bed. Pink flamingos in the pool. last Friday night.
Written in these walls are the stories that I can't explain.
Today's utensils. Today's bottled paint. All of this is just paint. It's the beauty industry, just paint. Okay, that's another topic that I can talk about soon. I really like that concept, that we live in a time where makeup is seen as a beauty and cosmetic thing, when all it is just paint mixed with ingredients. And it's cool how what it does to your psyche or to your perception when it's just paint on your face. It could get you to perform. Damn, we kissed, but I forgot. Chocolate milk, chocolate almond milk. Try it because it will remind you that if you look up into the sky, it's the same sun that's up. From an American point of view, it's the same sun if you were in India and were to look up. If you were in Antarctica and were to look up, we're all on the same fucking planet.
I'm a motherfucking train wreck.
Do you remember when it first died, September?
I feel lost and scared and happy. Why am I so sure that I'd rather be this than everything I was supposed to be? And that I'd rather do this than everything I was supposed to do?
Welcome to Earth.